The screen glowed a vibrant neon green, 100%. When I was 6, I was a perpetual motion machine. I didn't just walk. I ricocheted off walls, my laughter a high-pitched siren echoing through the house. I was a structural hazard, leaping from the tops of couches and burrowing into the deepest corners of the attic like a frantic explorer. The world was a playground, and I was convinced I was made of rubber. I was turbocharged, fueled by nothing but sunlight, sugar, and the blissful ignorance of gravity. Then came the teenage years. The screen flickered to 85%. The frantic, jagged movements smoothed out into deliberate strength. I traded digging in the dirt for crushing push-ups on the bedroom floor. My life became a mission to stay lean, to stay fast, to chase the horizon. There were no bills, no clocks that mattered, only the electric hum of being young and invincible. I was still wild, still loud, but there was a rhythm to it now. A focused, pulsing energy that felt like it would never hit the red zone. The prime of life, the 20s and 30s, 60%. The shift was subtle, a quiet leak in the charging port. I started to notice the weight of things, not just the dumbbells, but the bills, the responsibilities, and the slow creep of grown-up life. I was still in the game, still working out, still feeling the fire, but my radius had shrunk. I stopped running everywhere and started choosing where to stand. The circle of people around me tightened. I gained a few pounds, a quiet souvenir of sitting still long enough to actually think. The battery was still humming, but it required maintenance now. It required intention. I was still feeling the fire, but the edges of the flame were starting to cool, replaced by the demands of building a foundation. The middle years, the 40s and 50s. 35%. Gravity suddenly felt much heavier. I looked in the mirror, and the body that used to snap back into shape like a rubber band now seemed to hold on to every mistake. A late-night snack, a missed workout, a fleeting craving for something sweet. The love handles felt like anchors I couldn't cut loose. The currency of energy. My energy became a currency I had to hoard, spent carefully between the demands of a career, the beautiful chaos of children, and the late-night negotiations with a spouse over who was more tired. Rest became a luxury, a ghost I chased through the hours of the night. I found myself sitting on the edge of the bed, staring at the floor, feeling the hum of my own internal engine growing faint. The transition. I wasn't the boy leaping off the couch anymore, and I wasn't the teenager who thought he could outrun time. I was just a man, running on the low-power mode of a life well lived. The silence of the house started to feel different, less like an ending, and more like a space where the echoes of the past could finally be heard clearly. The twilight 15%. The twilight years arrived, and the room grew quiet, except for the rhythmic, steady tick of the clock. The decades blurred into a single, long exhale. My skin is like worn parchment, mapping out every year I've traveled. The weight I once struggled to lift has been replaced by the weight of stillness. Contentment. There is no more craving, no more running, no more trying to outpace the mirror. The ambition that once fueled my days has settled into a deep, heavy contentment. The kids are grown, the house is quiet, and the frantic pace of the world feels like a story I once heard, not one I am currently writing. The final breath 0%. The light on the screen is dim, a tiny red sliver against the dark. I am lying here, and for the first time, the hourglass has no more sand left to turn. I look back, and the vision is crystal clear. I see the boy on the couch, the teen in the gym, the man fighting to hold it all together, and finally, the soul at peace. The cost of the journey. It wasn't a failure of the hardware. It was the cost of the journey. Every drop of energy I spent, the sweat, the tears, the laughter, the love, and the exhaustion, was the payment for the life I got to inhabit. My battery is empty because I used every ounce of it to build, to protect, to create, and to exist. Completion. There is no more flicker, no more hum. Just a profound, heavy silence that isn't cold. It's complete. I close my eyes, and the final percentage point fades into the soft, velvet dark. I didn't lose the power. I gave it all away to the life I loved, and it was worth every single charge.